Spring is in the air, and we are doing a whole lot more than spring cleaning. It's the perfect time to refresh and renew your life. So let's start the spring season with a life cleanse. Happy spring equinox for the listeners in the Northern Hemisphere, and fall equinox if you're listening in the Southern Hemisphere. You may already know that I am an astrology enthusiast, and while a lot of the world may celebrate the new year on January 1st, in the astrological calendar, Aries season is the beginning of the new year for astrology. And regardless of what you consider to be the new year, I think we can all agree that spring is a time of revival and rebirth, and it's teeming with possibilities. This year, the spring equinox happens on March 20th at exactly 5:24 p.m. Eastern Time. The word equinox, literally translated, means equal night because of the position of the sun above the Earth's equator. The day and the night are very equal in length in both the northern and the southern hemispheres. What I recently learned that the exact moment of the sun crossing over the Earth's equator is known as the vernal equinox, from the Latin word vernere, which means to bloom. Isn't that so pretty? Many cultures all over the world celebrate this time of year with festivals, intentions, rituals, cleansing, fasting, and so much more. A lot of these celebrations are rooted in this specific time of year because it brings new crops and new life to communities. We can use this fresh spring energy to cleanse our entire life this season. Let's start with resetting our goals. Look back on the goals that you set earlier this year. When you reflect on them, which ones do you still feel excited about? And if there are goals that you already achieved, how are you celebrating them? What about the goals that you're still working toward? How can you get back on track with those goals? It's a great practice to reevaluate our goals throughout the year and make any necessary changes or adjustments. And perhaps that's every quarter, or perhaps that's on the equinox or the solstice for you. I also wanted to mention that this is meant to be done without judgment. So when we reevaluate our goals objectively, we can understand and set meaningful goals for ourselves, but we don't want to get too emotionally attached to the outcomes. Instead, observe the facts and the logistics of your goal, and then use the data and your intuition to decide whether it's worth going for you. If it's not for you right now, maybe you're going to come back to it, or maybe it's not for you at all, and that's okay. And this is not permission. I really want to make this clear. This is not permission to give up on your dreams. Nuh-uh. I will tell you right now that I had a goal of being on more podcasts as a guest this year. And when I looked at my goal at the beginning of this month, I was like, oh crap, I'm slacking on this. But instead of getting discouraged, I challenged myself to change things up. And I can share with you today that I have completed 3 podcast interviews since sharing that goal with you in episode 222. I'll link to that in the show notes for you at ValerieLevineLife.com/225. With your new goals, we can be more intentional with our actions moving forward. This includes making space for the goals that we want to manifest. And one of the best ways that we can make space for our goals is to literally make space in our lives so we can declutter our home. Now, I know there are some of you out there who love spring cleaning, and I've got to say, I love when the cleaning is done, but I don't always love doing it. However, once in a while, I do get this burst of energy and I feel very inspired to deep clean my home. So if you're like me, you may also like this little calendar that I prepared. It's called 7 Days of Decluttering. Day 1, we clean out our closet. We're donating or we're selling anything that no longer sparks joy. Day 2, reorganize your pantry. Toss anything that is expired and refresh the pantry with matching or cute storage containers for easy access so you can actually use those pantry items. And I will kind of add a little footnote here. If you can get the clear containers, you'll know what's in them, because I find I don't use what's in the opaque containers, but I use what's in the translucent ones. for the transparent ones. Anyways, day 3. Choose one room in your home to deep clean. Day 4, finally organize your junk drawer, or maybe it's your glove box in your car, but we are talking about our home here. Day 5, declutter your work from home space. So bring in new energy and creativity with a tidy office space. It's so refreshing when we can do that, when we can make space in our office. Day 6 is clean out your skincare, toss any expired products or makeup, and replace it with non toxic alternatives. And lastly, day 7, purchase some air purifying plants to liven up your space. I know we're talking about decluttering, but now that we have this space, we can get some fresh air going or air purifying plants in our home. Breaking different rooms or areas of the home or tasks down into separated days makes these projects more manageable and really helps build momentum on the bigger picture. Plus, cleaning can be really exhausting, especially if you've got a lot going on. And, just break it down. Just allow yourself to, what do they say? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Since we're making time to declutter our space, we can continue this momentum with spring cleaning our finances. This is a great time to reevaluate and eliminate any expenses that aren't bringing us joy as well. With those out of the way, what expenses can we get excited about and budget for? One year, I noticed I was spending a lot of money on coffee dates with friends, and I decided I wanted to swap those to walking dates. And the outcome was epic because I was saving money, I was drinking less caffeine, I was moving my body more, I was getting fresh air, and I was inspiring my friends to have more walking dates too. And I was exploring new places. No brainer, right? It's also a great time to review reoccurring charges on your credit card and bank statements. Which ones are you actually using on a regular basis, and which ones can we cancel? We recently canceled our Netflix, and truthfully, I don't miss it. It's also helping me because I'm spending more time reading than watching random shows just because it's a habit of sitting down and turning the TV on. Along with our goals and creating space for our manifestations, another great way to spring clean your life is to adopt healthy habits. It's about time we start incorporating and prioritizing the habits and routines we keep saying we're going to start. Share in the comments of this video or share with me on Instagram which healthy habits are you prioritizing this season. Here are some popular habits and tips for each of them. Movement and exercise. As an educator in the fitness industry, I cannot stress this enough. Find an exercise that you enjoy and look forward to. Why on earth would you commit to something you don't love and you're not excited about? Pass. Healthy eating. Keep your nutrition simple by purchasing whole foods and packaged goods with 4 ingredients or less. You'd be amazed at how much garbage ingredients are in a box of store-bought cookies. Another simple clean eating tip is to shop the outside of the grocery store. This is usually where whole foods can be found versus the packaged products in the aisles. Meditation, there are a lot of ways to meditate and so many meditation styles. So something that really helped me with my consistency in meditation was changing my intention of quieting my mind or calming my thoughts. And instead, it was to observe my thoughts. This allowed me to cultivate more mindfulness and awareness. And now my meditation practice goes beyond sitting on a pillow in silence every morning. Sleep hygiene is another huge habit that I'm noticing that a lot more people are working on. So sticking to a consistent schedule of going to bed and waking up at the same time every day or within the same 90 minutes every day. For example, if you wake up at 6:30 in the morning or between 6:30 and 8 a.m., I should say, daily, and then you go to bed between 9 and 10:30 p.m. nightly, and maybe you're like, whoa, that's way too early or way too late or whatever. Obviously, just adjust it. It was just an example, but going to bed and waking up at the same time every day is really helpful for getting your body into that circadian rhythm. And when your body has that routine, has that rhythm, you're going to get better quality sleep for sure. A wonderful habit to create is a gratitude practice. This can be part of your meditation practice. It can be through journaling or any other ways that you can think of practicing gratitude. Taking time each day to express gratitude for the things you have and the people in your life is not only an amazing habit, but a wonderful way to attract more of what you're grateful for. It can truly help cultivate a positive mindset and increase happiness, along with manifesting more gratitude and abundance into your life. I've done a few episodes on gratitude in the past. One was a story of a past client, and the other was from my experience of practicing gratitude every day for a year and what it taught me. I'll link to those episodes in the show notes page for you at ValerieLevineLife.com/225. If you feel that it's challenging to think of what you're grateful for, I suggest starting really small with moments or tiny moments of gratitude every day. You can also start the journal practice with letting go of whatever you're holding on to in your mind and just get it out on paper. This is a meditation or a healing practice on its own because once it's on paper, you've released it. Heck, burn the paper if you want to. Obviously, safety note. In addition to practicing gratitude, another excellent way to spring clean your life is to notice where and who you're spending your time with. Connecting with loved ones is a wonderful way to strengthen relationships and really bring a sense of happiness and fulfillment into our lives. This can be done through a phone call, a video chat, or in person. I sometimes do those walking dates with my friends where we are both going for a walk in our respective areas and we walk and talk on the phone because we don't live anywhere near each other. But notice which people you keep in contact with the most and perhaps which relationships you need to overhaul. Commit to and nurture the relationships that make you feel good and happy to be around. Maybe during this audit, you think of people you want to forgive. How can you release the stress, the anger, resentment, the pain that you're holding on to from these strained relationships? Maybe the person that you need to forgive is yourself, right? There's so much when we bring awareness to these relationships, these parts of our home, these parts of our life, and we're like, oh, yeah, that definitely needs to happen. And it's not easy, I'm kind of saying it quickly today, but I'm not saying that this is easy. I'm saying it's important. And it doesn't have to be the relationships that you cleanse or just the relationships that you cleanse in your life, but also some of the activities as well that you spend your time with. Reassess your schedule. Where is there time wasted that you can replace with activities that make you feel happier or better? I find myself mindlessly scrolling on social media sometimes. And if you're like this, I think we need a bit of a social media detox. You can do this by unfollowing accounts that don't inspire you or align with your vibe. That way, if you do get caught in that mindless scroll, at least you're connecting with accounts that make you happy. Something that's really helping me is having a tech-free space in my home. Disclaimer, this is a work in progress, okay? But I'm really trying to keep tech out of the bedroom and also off the dinner table. I find this to be more difficult when I'm eating alone. And also my partner has his phone in bed with him and I try to read instead. But I do notice that I get FOMO because he's giggling at TikToks and I'm like, what are you looking at over there? Spring has such an incredible energy of newness, and it makes a really excellent time to learn something new. So what hobby or skill interests you? I've been learning and enjoying learning French on Duolingo, and I have a ton of cute recipe books that I could definitely dive into and try some new recipes out. Maybe there's a hobby that you've always wanted to try or a class or workshop that you want to take. Make this new season an excuse to try or learn something new. Of course, one of my favorite things to do this season is get outside. It's so easy to get stuck indoors during the winter months, and I'm pretty bad at this, but I'm learning to be better. We went on a few ski and snowboard trips this year, and they have been really fun. And actually, we're on one of our ski trips right now as I'm recording this, so it's kind of funny as I'm talking about spring and I'm looking at a meter of snow outside, but I mean, it's beautiful. And in here, it's sunny and warm, and it feels like spring. But if you need a little nudge, here are some benefits of spending time outside. We move more when we're outdoors, and being in nature for 30 minutes can actually lower our blood pressure and our pulse. We have access to fresh air, quality air, And we tend to seek more social connection when we're in nature, which is also a huge boost for our general mental health and wellness. Speaking of spending time in nature, it's a mood booster for sure. Nature has some really cool immune boosting benefits because we're breathing in that magic of nature's aromatherapy, especially if you're in the woods or even just spending time around salt water and all that. Of course, well, I say of course because I know that when I spend lots of time in nature, it can be really decreasing for our stress and our anxiety levels. So, those are 7 super awesome reasons to get your booty outside ASAP. Spending time in nature is so amazing for our health and wellness. This is what you need to know. And whether it's going for a walk or hiking or simply just sitting outside and enjoying that fresh air, being in nature can improve our mood, reduce our stress, increase our feelings of well being. Those are the key points, okay? Spring cleanse your life by detoxing your habits. Which habits are no longer serving you, and what new behaviors do you want to replace them with? These could be the habits that we were talking about earlier in the episode. And one of the best ways to break a bad habit is to replace it with a new and better one. Spring cleaning our lives doesn't have to be a one and done practice. And often it isn't. We want to put systems in place to support us throughout the year so that we don't just clean once and everything is fine and everything's amazing. It doesn't happen like that, right? With our new cleaned up home and office, we can now organize our environment. Create a system for organizing your belongings, such as using storage containers, labeling your items, creating designated spaces for different items. Having those designated spaces for your items decreases mess, makes things easier to find when you're looking for them, and in turn, this is going to make you more productive. The spring season is a beautiful time of change and transition. Of course, these changes do not have to happen overnight. Take your time easing into the season by choosing one or two of the ideas that I've shared today to start with. And maybe you felt inspired and you came up with your own ways to celebrate and cleanse your life this spring. Share them with me in the comments below this video or on Instagram at Val Levine Life. I would love to hear about what you're implementing this season.